Did a girl ever call you a nice guy, friendly guy? Did she tell you to just be a little more confident maybe? But then eventually you just ended up in the friend zone.
We were just friends.
You felt that there's no attraction for you. It was really frustrating. I certainly have many times in my life. I know how it feels. It's a horrible feeling when you are attracted to a girl, but you're just not getting there. You feel like you're missing something. So what does that even mean? Be more confident, be more proud of yourself, be more outgoing, stuff like that. It's very vague when females give dating advice. So I want to look into the science, so to say, and I want to look today into the dominance empathy matrix.
Holy shit.
So we're going to use this matrix to analyze different types of guys and how they land in certain relationships and how they're being perceived by women. So on the very left side here, we start with guys who have very little empathy and starting out with very little dominance as well. That's the typical loser, incel, sitting at home playing video games kind of guy, posting on 4chan, black pill, complaining about women, watching black pill content on YouTube, commenting a lot, but really not even interacting with the real world. I would say this whole section here, very little empathy. None of the people watching this channel fall into this category, right? You are here on this channel because you want to improve yourself, you actually want to connect with the world, you want to be a better man, you want to be social, you want to attract the right women in your life. So that alone tells me you have a certain level of empathy. But it's still good to be aware of these people. So then we're moving up. The creep, he's actually leaving the house, he's a little more dominant, and he has a certain level of engagement to women. So he's catcalling, he's saying hi baby, he's basically throwing out comments to women, and he doesn't really care how he makes them feel because he's lacking empathy, but he's still dominant in a horny, uncalibrated way. Now the thing with these guys is they send dick pics, they're calling women whatever, and they're feeling brave in that moment, they're throwing stuff out into the world, but actually they're quite insecure inside, obviously. So adding more dominance, well, that's the danger zone. That's the dude who has no empathy, but insane amounts of dominance, aggression. This is the sociopaths, the psychopaths, the rapists, bad people, right? It's a dangerous combination, often connected to genetics, just can't feel for others. And obviously we want to avoid these people all the time. Moving more to the right, and still keeping some dominance. Here I got empathy on 3 out of 10 and dominance on 7 out of 10. Are the so-called drunken mistakes. The sleazy guys who hang around in the bars, right? Try to flirt a little bit. They can at least ask some questions and maybe show a little bit of empathy.
This is my friend Jason. I just want to see how my beers were doing.
This is my sister Debbie.
Oh, hi, I'm Ben.
Hi, Ben.
Yes.
Nice to meet you.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Just try not to stare.
You're beautiful.
Thank you.
And they're around when the girl is horny, nobody else is there anymore, and she just needs a comfort fuck, right? That's the guy here. He's a bit sleazy, he doesn't really know what to do, but he's available and he at least has some position of power. That could sometimes be, you know, the guy who is owning the bar or owns the club, or he's a producer, he's the director, and he's using that position of power, using his dominance with very little empathy to bang women. So, you know, I guess like certain convicted producers are in this area here. Do women respect these guys? Of course not. As I said, it's a drunken mistake. Women don't talk about these guys. They delete the memory of that night out of their brain. And they will usually never tell you that they have slept with a guy like that. It's a deleted memory and will be a secret forever. So let's move into this whole section, which is split up in 4 different categories. We're gaining empathy, but as you see, we only have a mediocre level of dominance. And there's a subtle distinction between those 4 categories. So let's start here on the bottom. Very little dominance. That's the classical nice guy, right? And he's actually not as empathetic as the friend zone guy. So what's the difference between those guys? What's the difference between the nice guy and the guy who lands in the friend zone? The nice guy doesn't have the empathy, so he's a little confused, he's shy, he's timid, he doesn't really know how to connect with women. He thinks maybe if I give her gifts, it will help. If I simp, if I just like stand there, listen to her, if I do her homework, right? So he's giving because he's so confused what actually works, and he has so little dominance, just like the friend zone guy, that he has no other tools to build attraction for women. So he's completely clueless, and no woman will ever actually be attracted to him or wants to have sex with him. The friend zone guy is not much better. Still, he's not really getting laid because he's not playing on any of the metrics that creates attraction between man and woman, but at least he has more empathy. So now he knows, okay, how to hold a conversation, how to comfort a woman, how to give her what she actually needs in that moment, how to see her situations and be emotionally in tune with her. So she actually enjoys spending time with him, at least, because, you know, he's more empathetic. These guys often hear stuff like, "You're a great guy, but you're really sweet," or "You will find someone," or "Oh man, you're great, I need a guy like you." And he's like, "I am a guy like me. Why don't you f me then?" "I don't see you like that, you know, like you're a really good friend," or "I don't want to ruin what we have," or I value you more as a friend than a lover, and actually you are more important than these other fuckboys around me," which is kind of soul crushing, right? Like he's empathetic enough to understanding her, doing all that stuff, but what he's lacking is the dominance. Let's move over here, kind of like the middle of everything, not great, not good, not horrible. So that's like probably the majority of guys are here, they're just like figuring it out. He's the casual date, currently called Situationship. Nobody's proud to dating a guy like that, but I guess it's just what it comes down to when average people date other average people, right? He's not really aspiring to be a leader, he's not really aspiring to understand women on a more complex level, he's not working on any of the skills like sexuality or communication or charisma, he's not really working on his style, he's wearing the same boring stuff all the time that he wore when he was in high school, when his mother was still deciding his wardrobe. He gets the same haircut for the last 4 years, he doesn't wear any jewelry, he's just fine in his job. He's working out not regularly, like he has a little bit of a dad bum. He's just a normal average dude. Nobody's proud dating him, but hey, he's there when he needs me. He's somewhat reliable. He once brought me flowers and he helped me move a fridge when I moved apartment, and you know, so he's a nice guy. Not great, and no woman really wants to end up with that guy long term, right? It's kind of like a bridge. Maybe she's traumatized from her old relationship, or she feels really lonely, or she's just simply horny, and he does the job. So, but she's not like, "Oh my god, I want to marry this guy."
Of course I want to get married.
Unlike this category. So if we're adding more empathy, but keep the dominance level the same, we land in the boyfriend-husband area. And I'm saying that in a positive way, right? You can't be crazy dominant and lack empathy if you want to have a long-term relationship. Relationships are complicated, it comes with different needs, different situations, going through difficult times together. So you need a high level of empathy if you want to be successful in a long-term relationship. I'm going to talk about the other side of this matrix in a second. So this is not a bad thing, it's just a little bit boring here and there, a little bit too safe, you know. She feels good with you, she will marry you, she will say yes, maybe out of habit if you propose her after a few years of relationship, but she will always think, "Oh, what if I would have married the other guy, you know, that one dude from high school who leveled up, who did this and that." So that's obviously Tyler. He's nailing everything on every metric. We're going to talk about that in a second. Attached to these two categories, to the friend zone and the husband category, are certain complaints. You know, depending on the relationship and how open she is, the girl being friends with the friend zone guy might always complain to him about the bad boys. Bad boys up here, gonna discuss in a second. She's crying about the bad boys. The bad boys only fucked her once, or the bad boy doesn't text back, or the bad boy has a new girlfriend, or the bad boy doesn't care about her, right? So she's always complaining to the nice guy who's listening, nice guy or friend zone guy who's listening. Okay, frustrating, it is what it is. It is a good sign, right? If girls constantly complain to you about other guys who have a higher level of dominance than you, then that's a great sign that you're in the friend zone, my friend. Here, boyfriend-husband area, she probably doesn't do that because obviously she's respecting the relationship at least to an extent, or she knows it would be a horrible idea to talk about other guys too much when she's in a relationship with you. but she then might secretly either think about cheating with you, has fantasies about it, or actually cheat. Depends, every relationship is different. Might simp for this other guy, and you might be cucked. So who is she cheating with? She's cheating with the bad boy.
Pick up the phone, you bad boy.
The bad boy, if you think about it, he has less empathy. So why does she like hanging out with the bad boy? Why does she give her body to the bad boy, who is less empathetic but more dominant? The crazy thing here is he, in a way, even though he's less empathetic, intuitively understands female nature better, or kind of like it's a coincidence that he gives her what she needs even though he's not that empathetic. Or maybe he's so empathetic that he is so smart to not show empathy to give her what she actually needs. Basically, he understands female psychology. There's all these street interviews out there where guys ask women on the street, do you prefer a nice guy or a toxic guy? And what do they say?
Why do girls like bad boys?
They like a little excitement. Maybe they're done with like the boring nice guy shit and they want a little something more exciting.
Because they're more interesting, more mysterious, and because they're more fun.
The dangerous side in them, I guess, like it makes you feel kind of like uneasy, but in a good way. I don't know, it just attracts you in some type of way. I don't really know how to explain it.
Most women, yes.
Yeah. For the bad boys.
Exactly. And why is that? Well, the bad boy, he's more dominant. He uses his power. He's better in bed probably, because every feminine woman wants to experience a masculine man in the bedroom. She wants to be dominated. She wants to give away her power. She wants to be taken. This is very sexy for a woman. He is assertive. He tells her how it is, what to do. He sets a plan and then he goes for it, right? She can follow him along. Again, a feminine woman doesn't always want to think for her man. She wants him to be a leader, and then she wants to nurture him in that way. That's actually a healthy relationship, which we're going to talk about. That's what she's attracted to. He gives her what she actually wants. She can be her feminine essence in that position, versus with a less dominant man, she needs to take on that role. She needs to be dominant, which some women are, but often that lack of polarity leads to a not so successful relationship, or way less sex, or eventually there will be problems down the way, or people just end up with the basics of, okay, we both bring money to the household and we provide for our children and we make sure our children will be happy, but we kind of give up on our own happiness, which a lot of long-term relationships are. So this is your classical musicians, barkeepers, badass nude photographers, OnlyFans managers, drug dealers, and so on. Because, they live in a world where they are around a lot of women, DJs, promoters, even waiters in like high-class establishments or cool clubs. They are around a lot of women, unlike the nice guy. He's craving female attention, he's holding on to it, he's simping for it, he's giving out his attention and finances to just hold on to a little bit of female, essence. And the bad boy doesn't need to do that, which makes him automatically kind of do the right thing to keep the attraction, and it keeps on snowballing for him. What are we aspiring to be? Who do we want to be? How do we want to move through the world? How do we want to build relationships? Obviously, we want to be the best version of ourselves possible. We want to be dominant, but we want to be empathetic. We want to be the ultimate lover, but also long-term, a reliable, great husband. We want to be a good father to our children. We want to be Tyler. We want to be masculine, grounded. We want to be sexual, but also empathetic. Tyler combines the best of both worlds. He knows when to be dominant, when to be assertive, when to tell her what to do, when to be a little bit of the bad boy, even when to be a little bit manipulative, when to make her jealous so she gets attraction. Because, why is jealousy so potent, such a Viagra for women? Well, if they can get you so easily, it's the same with like gold or an expensive car or Bitcoin, right? If it's not rare, it doesn't have any value. So if his attention isn't rare, it doesn't have any value. And Tyler knows that, and he uses that in the early stages of a relationship to position himself as a higher status male. But it's not fake because he is higher status, because he works on his goals, because he is grounded, because he did work on himself. He meditated, he worked on his body, he built relationships, he built businesses. So he's not just faking it, he's actually a strong provider. And then Tyler is also a great husband, because into the relationship, when trust is being built and you explore each other sexually, he can also listen, he can solve problems for her. He knows when to not be assertive and dominant, but be calm and gentle, when to comfort her, when to apologize. He has both of these sides inside of him, which makes him the ultimate lover and the ultimate long-term partner. So this is what you should aspire to become. Now over to you. What level of dominance and empathy do you think you have? And I want you to think about this. I want you to put it in the comments. Just write E4, D5, whatever, and explain a little bit why do you come to these numbers. I'm going to read every comment and I'm going to respond to every comment, trying to help you to move from one stage to the next. So if you resonate with any of these that I mentioned here, you can also mention that in your comment. If you think this is cool stuff and you actually want to move towards being a Tyler and you want to take ownership of your dating life and you want to improve as a man as a whole, you can book a call below, talk to my team, and we're going to talk about how we can get there, how we can transform you socially in 2024. So thanks for watching, and remember, you want to approach away from something magical coming into your life. See you next time.